to you.
Hey, hey, hey. We are back again. Yes, yes, yes. It's been a while. It's been a while. It's been a while. Today we are going to be talking about government and disability. Oh man. That's a great topic we're gonna be talking about today. Wait. Co-host today. Tia. Yes, we're gonna be talking about disability and government and how it affects being disabled. We've been hearing about a lot of stuff for the news these past couple of days since eh, Donald Trump got in office. Can't say what I really want to say, but I'm gonna just keep it PG. Since Donald Trump got in office, how he wants to cut the 504 plan. He wants to take Social Security away, food stamps, all of that. So today we're gonna talk about disability in government, and this is my take on how I feel. If you cut the federal funding for people who are disabled, they're going to leave us in peril. And when I say in peril, I mean as far as not being able to pay our bills, not being able to pay rent, go food shopping if you cut out food stamps because you need it. Then on top of that, they talking about cutting Medicaid and Medicare. Now, when it comes down to those things, the Medicaid and Medicare we need because some of us have life sustaining stuff that we need to keep us alive. Some of us have life sustaining medicine that we need to keep us alive. Versus even more so when it comes to the you got some disabled people that are on ventilators. They need those to get fixed. And how does that get done? Through government assistance, meaning when it comes to our insurance, paying for ventilators, I guess when I looked it up, I know it was over $2,000 for a ventilator. But when you go through insurance, it can be very, very costly. I'm going to get maybe up to like $4,000 just for that one piece of equipment. And I know when it comes to using buying a scooter, a power chair, a walker, the crutches, you're looking at paying at least in the thousands for that type of equipment. What bothers me this now, what bothers me today is how we are, as disabled people, are actually bottom people on the totem pole. Like we are stepped on, we are overlooked. Um, some people don't look at us as an asset to society when we really are. Um, even when it comes down to the government don't even see us as people. They see it as cash cows. Um, we are the ones that they feel like we bring in the money, but we don't bring in the money. The government does. We are a part of it because we need the money and we need the federal assistance. We need the insurance. We need all of those things to keep us moving to do the things that we need to do. Um, Tia, so let me ask you a question right quick. Um, how do you feel when it comes to the government and being disabled? Like, what are your takes on it?
If I could respectfully steal all your words, I would say exactly the same thing. And the
Mm,
reason I'll say it is because it's straight facts. Like I was just saying well, before what you said happened
mm,
earlier this year happened, I thought to myself like, dang, stuff is really about to get real. And then that
mm,
came to my head like I remember us being this thing to where like we were like total scum.
mm,
Excuse my words, but it was like somewhere near it. And now I'm
right,
like, damn, you might just spit me out and put me on the bottom of my shoe.
right, right,
So
right.
that's literally what it feel like. and
Mm-hmm.
that's literally what it's supposed to look like. And it's so crazy because I've been saying this, walking around this whole conversation for years.
Mm-hmm. Right, right. I mean, I feel like that too sometimes when I go outside and I look at the power chain that I have to use, and if it breaks, I call insurance right now. Call insurance to get it fixed, and they're like, "Well, we can't afford to fix it because of this and that." People don't understand, and this is what the government doesn't understand. We rely on that type of funding to get us through life. We rely on it in so many different ways because some of us can't even work. So the money that we get once a month, it comes in handy. Yeah, people sit
Hold
there and
on, hold
say,
on, hold on, hold on. Excuse me, but I want you to pause.
mm-hmm,
Even when we do work, and
mm-hmm,
I recall a person that's there to show us or tell us what we can and can't do.
mm-hmm.
I just want to point that out. That was
No,
it.
no, 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 no. It's okay. It's okay. I'm glad you actually stopped me because that brings me to a point where that brings me to my next point. What I'm about to say. Um, they see the government. Here's the thing. It's tricky because the government wants us to work. They want us to work, and then here's another thing. Then when we work and we try to make a better living for ourselves, we can't because of the stipulations. Oh, you can't do this because the government says this, or you can't do this because the government says that. That's why my topic today is on disability in government because when you try to work, you can't make this amount of money because they're gonna cut your funds off.
And then hold
Okay.
on, pause, because I know you're
Hmm.
about to get into that. Get into how many hours and how many hours you cannot work.
Right, right. Yeah. So you can only work. You can only work roughly 20. I say when you're on SSI, you can roughly work 20 hours a day. So you have to break that down. 20 hours a week. I'm sorry. So you have to break that down to 5 hours a day. Now, when you're on SSI disability, you get a little bit of wiggle room, but not much. You might be able to push it to 25 hours a day. But what I found out, and this is the catch to that, you cannot make over what's either on your SSI check or what's on your SSDI check. Because if you do, they count that as income earned. And income earned can actually get your money cut off because they're looking at it as okay, well, you made this amount of money, so that's telling us you can work. But in all actuality, you can't. Um, and I've had that happen to myself. I've had it happen to other people that I know. Um, prime example for myself. Um, and this is crazy because they sit there and say that the government doesn't know what you make. The government knows everything that you make once you punch your social security number in the system. It brings up your whole history. So they want you to report your earnings. And why would you want me to report my earnings if every time I get a check from a job and I'm working and you know that I'm working, you see it. It has to go through y'all before it gets to me. I have to pay taxes on that money, right? Right. So how can y'all sit there and say as a government, oh, you can't make this amount of money and you can't make this amount of money, but y'all want us to not be on SSI, not be on SSDI. So when we try to get off, the government holds us down because of the restrictions. And then on top of that, when it comes to being disabled, we have to fight for the actual jobs that we want. Because guess what? We're not going to get the jobs that we want if we go through SSI, the Social Security office. You got this thing called the Ticket to Work program. Oh, they tell you it's great to have that. That's another thing. That's a part of the government. The Ticket to Work program runs through the government. Oh, you're allowed to work, but if you do it through the Ticket to Work program, they're already going to know what you make. You already got no, mm-mm, no. I feel as though in so many ways when it comes to us as disabled people, the government is sitting us. It's the government is set to hold us back. And when I say hold us back, meaning limit us of as to what we can do. We know what we can do as disabled people. We know what we can't do. We know how far we can push ourselves. I believe that when it comes to working or any type of funding job that we have, we all as disabled people, we should be allowed it to have the same equal rights as everybody else. But we don't. We don't have that because why? They see your wheelchair. Well, since you're in a wheelchair, they limit to what you can do because you have that wheelchair. So they figure, that wheelchair is going to limit you. No, 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 no. The wheelchair, yes, it may be a part of me, but at the same time, it doesn't do my job for me. It assists me with my job, yes, but the wheelchair, the crutches, the walker, that does not do the job for me. Because believe me, if everything that I just mentioned can do the job for me, and we could all sit back and collect that check, we would all send our medical devices to work for us. Okay, you go to work and do this for me while I sit home and collect the check. But it don't work that way. The government feels as though that they have such a strong hold on people with disabilities that it's like you're under their thumb. Mm. Prime example for myself. I ended up having to pay back in Social Security at one time $10,000. Why? Because Mr. Ezekiel, as they say, you didn't report your earnings, but how I not report my earnings when y'all already know what I'm doing? Because my Social Security follows me. My Social Security number follows me to the day I die. So anything that I do, whether it's work, especially if it's work related, it's going to follow me. Mm. That's just one incident. Then again, me working again, I ended up having to pay them back, excuse me, $8,000. So if you think about it, I've given back Social Security $18,000 altogether. Different time, different years. But I gave the government back their money. And believe me, when the government wants their money back, they're going to get their money back voluntarily or involuntarily. Voluntarily meaning, okay, you set up a payment plan with Social Security and say, okay, I know I owe y'all this money, so y'all take this amount of money out of my check till it's paid off. It's voluntary. Now, involuntarily is another way. It's this way. Say you're working, okay, you collect, you file for your tax return, and they snatch it, and they'll send you a nice little letter say, well, due to the debt that you owe the Social Security office, we have taken your taxes to clear that debt. And I've had that happen to me too, twice. Um, they sit there like today they said checks and balances. Checks and balances on what? What are the checks and what are the balances when it comes to government? When it comes to the government and people with disabilities? Me personally, I feel there are no checks and balances when it comes to that. Mm, I'm gonna ask Tia, what do you think when it comes to that? When it comes to being disabled and checks and balances that they talk about today with the finances and being disabled?
It's crazy you said that before because before you asked that question, I was just thinking of an idea we had like a week or a couple days ago
Hmm.
when when I was telling you about the whole Mexico idea.
Right.
Now hear
I
me
remember.
out, and
Yeah.
I want
Mhm.
hear me out, and I want you to tell me your first thought when I say this.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, you're disabled.
Hmm.
You got funds.
Hmm.
Just sit at home.
My first, yeah, I got funds. Yes, just sit at home. But my first thought that comes to mind is they don't want me out in the world. Um, yes, I have the money coming in from the government, but y'all, it makes it seem like it makes it feel like that y'all don't want the disabled community out in the world when it took us over 30 something years to fight for the rights that we have. And believe me, we are still fighting to this day.
Literally.
We are still fighting to this day. It's a little bit, each day it doesn't get easier, it gets harder.
Yeah. And then
Um,
I want to send you another little thought. When I got this whole thing to where like when I feel like once you got a social security,
mhm,
social security number, you are literally a business now.
that is true.
So
Mhm,
go ahead and do your thing, employee.
mhm.
How you feel about that?
Um,
Because I mean, you are literally like you
it's
are a part of the business
I
now.
feel
Like,
like when you say you're having a business, I'm gonna tell you it's the other way that I think of that is, and you have a social security number. I think of it as being in jail because you're not when you're locked up and you go to jail, you're not who you are anymore. You're dehumanized, and you're so dehumanized that you're dehumanized down to a number, and that number and what that number is your inmate number. So at the same time, when we are a person with a disability and we're working through Social Security or not working through Social Security, when they can't figure out your information and you call on the phone, the first thing they say, "Hello, well, can I get your name?" You give them your name now. Here's what I need from you. I need the last four digits of your Social Security number. And you give that, and everything comes up in the computer who you are, where you live, what you've done, how many years you've done it, the whole nine yards. That's what brings it back to the retrospect of feeling like that in this world. Sometimes you feel like that you're in jail because you have reference sometimes to the last four digits of your social security number, not your name. Um, Even when it comes to a job, you have reference to not even to the nine digits of your social security number or 10 digits of your social security number. You have reference to the last four digits, depending on which way your social security number is played out. Even when it comes to receiving food stamps, you don't get that payment until your number is pulled or your number comes up. And that's all the way across the board for everybody else. So when it comes to that, I feel like that I am an inmate in this big world, but this big world is just a jail. Um, yeah, we have the transportation in this big world, this big old jail to go from point A to point B. Yes, we have it. But I still feel like sometimes that we are really just a number for the government to to have. Um, even with even with being disabled and you trying to start your business, your number, your social security number, that's the last four digits or that whole number always plays a part for you to start your business. Um, it's like I said again, it's when I say going back again to being disabled in the government. We are so attached in so many ways to the government. The question that you have to ask yourself is this: are we really free? Is this really the land of the brave?
Oh my God, you were reading
So,
my mind. I was just about to
so,
ask you,
so,
how do you feel about the saying "America the Free"?
so, the question is, are you really free? And think about it this way: this president that's elected in office is a dictator. He's not a president. Um, he wants to dictate what he wants to dictate. Sorry about that. What the American people do, how the American people act, what we can have, what we can't have. But at the same time, he's putting all his money towards the billionaires, the rich folks. And where does that leave us on the totem pole? As disabled people and as disabled Americans? At the bottom. at the bottom where we have to feel like once again we have to claw our way to the top. I don't care, and this just came across my mind. I don't care what nationality you are. I don't care what part of the U.S. you come from. Sometimes in this crazy place that we call the world, you still feel like you're going back to the days of roots and you're on the boat coming over to free, get yourself free. Um, which is hard. Um, you are still put sometimes in a box as a person with a disability, which is not okay. And you have to find your way out of that box. And then when you find your way out of that box, you try to find ways not to go back. But you know, sometimes that happens, and it you have to find your way out again. So at the end of the day, life is just life be life, and that's crazy. Hold on for one. Sorry about that. That was
I
somebody. That was
I
somebody in
just
my door.
wanted to throw out an idea. Well,
Hmm.
not I don't even want to say idea. I want to throw out a thought.
Okay.
Um, since we in the total government conversation. Okay,
Hmm.
how do you feel about the smart cities?
What's gonna be so smart about them? Everything. If you talk about a smart city, yeah, that's just a smart city. It's not even a smart city because next the end of the day, everything is run off a computer. If the computer go down, what's gonna be so smart about that city? Nothing.
Okay, and now where could you see us in a smart city?
Um, where could I see us in a smart city? Uh,
Yeah.
oh wow. That question is very, very. Mm. Once again, I'm gonna tell you where I would see us in a smart city at the bottom of the totem pole, for real, for real. Um, and the reason why I say at the bottom of the totem pole is because of this. We have a smart city. Everything in the smart city goes down. They're not going to look to the disabled community to figure it out. They're going to look to other people who say, "Oh, I got this degree, I got that degree." Um, Sometimes having a degree is a good thing. Sometimes it's a bad thing because once again, here we go again. Disability in government. Um, you're disabled. You go to school. You apply for um, a loan. What's attached to that loan? Your social security number. You get the loan, you go to school. Now they tell you this, ma'am, you have been awarded your loan, um, but you have to pay us back. Now, once again, your social security number is tied to that loan. You've been in a smart city, your social security number is going to be tied to everything. But when you do the smart city thing, I feel as though everything about you as a human and as a person and as a person with a disability, when it comes to a smart city, is going to be revealed to the world. Um, there will be no more safeguarding your personal information.
Yeah, I agree.
Um, Same way with the real ID. They're trying to get everybody to get a real ID. Why? I'm doing of all the years that I've been on this earth in life. I ain't never heard nobody talk about a real ID till a couple years ago. Now, excuse me. When I went to go apply for my new ID, they said, "Well, Mr. Ezekiel, do you want to get the real ID or do you just want the regular ID? I'll just give me the regular ID because I feel more safe with a regular ID than me having a real ID. And if I tap my ID, everybody got my information. People can already scan bank cards and credit cards now, or card readers, and you don't even know the card reader is on there, and they got your bank information, or they got your house information. They even got the kind of car you drive for real, for real. Just they can find out what kind of car you drive just by through your address.
With perspective, we always been free.
Hmm. But let me ask you a question. Yeah,
Well,
we've always been free, but how free are we?
we free free. We free
In what retrospect do you say we
free.
free free? Like in what retrospect do you say that?
I mean, we up for grabs at any moment.
True.
And I mean that from every aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you look at it,
Mm-hmm.
you can look up somebody's name online and find out whatever. It's just there. Like we
Right.
don't have no block, no security, no nothing, no
No.
nothing.
Nope. I feel as though we belong to. I'll be honest. I feel as though we belong to the government. To be honest with you.
Literally, yes, I agree. I
Um,
definitely agree.
when I say we belong to the government, like at the end of the day, listen. I walked into the IRS. The lady says to me, "Your name, write your name and your social security number." She didn't ask for my address. She didn't ask where I live. She said your name and your social security number. And what people don't understand it. And this is what I need everybody to understand that's disabled out here in this world, in the United States of America today. Your social security number is attached to so much of your life. It's not even funny. Have an example.
Hold on. Before you finish, now I was getting creeped out a little while ago because I
Mhm,
started getting used to like like when you make your appointments on the phone now. That's
mhm,
the first thing they ask, and I'd be like, "What in the hell?"
mhm,
Like I'm
mhm.
just going to give you my shit. Like I don't
But
care
if
if the phone call being recorded. I don't care about none of that shit. Like what?
but you realize if you don't give it to them, you can't move forward with anything that you need to do at all.
Literally, literally.
And that is really the bad part that you can't move forward with nothing that you need to do without giving them that good number. Um, so at the end of the day, I feel like yes, we are just a number. We're a number to the government for sure. Um, even when I do protesting, I go away to protest this different stuff. And
I wanna add before you finish. I wanna add a number in the project.
you said what?
A number and a project.
That is true. Hmm. Um, that goes back to. Okay, I'm gonna give you another prime example. I do a protest, I get arrested. They ain't gotta look me up by my name to see what happened. The cop has to write a DC number. So you give the cop their DC number, they punch their DC number in their computer. That DC number gives them the whole history of what happened in the incident. Think about it. I get arrested for fighting. Yes, they take my name, my age, my sex, my height, my location, my fingerprints to identify me. They're not going to identify me by my first and last name. They're going to identify me by the number that they're just giving to me as soon as I hit that jail. Inmate number 00723645. That's not a real inmate number, y'all. It's just a number that I made up. Let's put that out there. That's just the number that I made up. Um,
You are hilarious.
but they identify you by that. Um, one thing I realized too when I said we're a part of the government, it's like this. I didn't realize that when we are a part of the government that they when you get arrested, and this is what I find so appalling sometimes. They don't care that you're disabled when they arrest you. You're numbered like everybody else. I feel like when you get arrested, and this may sound weird or funny in a way, that's probably the only time you're going to feel like you're human. And they treat you like they treat everybody else. You get the same exact treatment like everybody else when you get arrested. That's weird, ain't it?
Yeah, that is. I
That's
found that
weird.
out. I found that out at a young age, and it was so crazy because they kind of, I don't know, it kind of took me away from myself because I think I was like 16,
Hmm.
and I don't know, just that whole experience. I'm looking at myself like, what in the hell is going on? Like, am I going through a loop that
Excuse
I
me.
just don't know nothing about?
Um, yeah, but in the government and disability, but that is the only time that you feel as though that you are human and they treat you like you're human. Um, Another thing that bothers me when it comes to government and disability is they want you to be the face of everything. Um, oh, do you mind doing this? This is for this.
We employee, remember?
But to an employee, to what extent? I can be the
USA,
employee, yes. But
USA is the business as all.
you know what? You got a point. So you are the person. You become the guinea pig of the business.
Exactly.
Prime example when it comes to government again and disabled people. Um, let's go back to a series, show we did the other day of going to the hospital and being disabled. But here's the catch 22 to that: go to the hospital as a disabled person. Yeah, your name is on your bracelet, your age is on your bracelet, and the date of birth is on your bracelet. Your sexual orientation is on your bracelet. But when they come around and scan your bracelet, the first thing they ask you for is we need your medical record number. Now, your medical record number never changes. It stays the same unless they have to change it. When they administering it, when you're in the hospital and they are administering medication, they scan your medical record number to make sure it matches you to see the person that you are, so that they don't give you the wrong medication. I feel like the government and being disabled is a $1 billion business that just keeps growing.
It definitely is.
Um, if you hurt yourself, they don't give you the easy fix for it. Um, if you're born when you're born disabled and
Never.
you're born disabled and you can't walk, they don't really try to lean towards let's try this first. They lean towards, oh, we gotta operate on this.
Yes, oh my God. And you
Mhm,
know what? I'm mad we didn't have a certain conversation about what I wanted to speak about as far as my daughter. But I'm like,
mhm,
I just kept it in my state of mind. I know how I felt. I'd be
mhm,
damned if I let my daughter feel that same way. And I know it's
mhm,
other ways to go about this than to put her under a damn knife.
mhm. Because at the end of the day, We get operated on. That's over $500,000, and that's not even if they cut one slit on you, that's $1,000. By the time they're done operating on you, you have a $26,000 medical bill if you don't have insurance. So we, as
Hold on,
people,
hold on. I don't want to say I'm happy you said that, but I'm kind of happy you kind of brought that up because it just took me back to a moment where I was looking at a story where I think it was in another country. It
mhm,
was totally different. Like when I say it's a business, it's a freaking business because I don't know what country it was in, but it was totally different. And I could say, damn, I wish I was there. But I'm still here in America.
that is true. It's just ridiculous when you're disabled. You're disabled. You're an American, and on top of that, I still feel like sometimes in some way, shape, or form, the government runs us. Um, because
I got a question to go a little deeper. I just want to see where your head at. Okay, say you moved out the country. You got a whole new life. You live there. You ain't coming back. To say,
mm,
what if it was like this big announcement? If you were born from here or whatever, whatever, you must come back. How would you feel?
why would I come back? What would me? First of all, I would have to ask myself, what am I gaining in when if I come back? What are y'all offering me if I come back? What am I losing if I come back? And what is the in between if I come back?
Cause believe it or not, but like everything got its pros and cons. But I just wanted to throw it out there to see where your head was. That was it.
Mhm, that's where I'm at. Why would I come back? Especially if I'm living life the way I want to live life, that I have no qualms, nothing is wrong, and then y'all just tell me I gotta come back. When especially y'all tell me I gotta come back, and y'all not giving me a legitimate reason why I need to come back. That's a problem for me. Um, I feel as though sometimes me being disabled, I have a price tag on me. Um, sometimes that price tag when you disabled, sometimes that price tag on you is low, or sometimes it's just in between. Um, I feel like a lot of what we need, a lot of what we want and what we need, we're not getting because of the government. Because the government sees fit that sees and says, "Oh, I see fit that they don't need it." But when you've been disabled all your life and your body says, "I see fit that you need it," and it has a huge price tag on it, um, what you gonna do? Because it becomes detrimental to you. Now that it becomes detrimental to you, you're gonna pay that price to get it because you need it. Once again, being disabled in the area in the government in America.
Yeah,
Everything you do,
I definitely get that. I get that on a whole nother level. I really do. And it's so
everything.
crazy because I'm gonna just give you a little bit of story. I'm gonna let you finish. Right now, I'm in the aspect of my daughter going to middle school next year.
Mhm.
And with that being said, now that she's in sixth grade, she's on a walker. She still use her 4 leg walker with wheels, 2 wheels in the front, 2 wheels in the back, handlebars right there where the hands at.
Hmm.
She's getting a little taller to where the walker is not gonna be needed
Work
no
for
more.
her. Right.
Yeah, it ain't gonna. So I'm in the emotion of what am I gonna do next? I need
Hmm.
to figure out a way that she can adapt to not only school but
Uh-huh.
getting around without going where I think they gonna want her to go, and I know she probably not gonna feel comfortable. And what I mean by that, of course, me, my story when I was around that age, going to middle school, I ju- oh sorry, I jumped right into crutches. That was in my next move, and trust me, it definitely is a process. We talking about
Hmm.
four wheels. We talking about balance and everything. And now you seeing I gotta go from this to sticks.
Hmm.
Them sticks not gonna stop me. Them sticks not gonna hold me from falling. What? So now I'm trying to think. Okay, you know the elderly little walker thing with the basket on it.
Hmm.
I'm trying to see because I know I know a little bit of something. So and then of course you can probably help because I know how you are with what you know how to do. But
Hmm.
I'm trying to figure out if I can change the pose on the wheels and get like one of those um block things so like the wheel don't speed. It's like the same wheel on the walker, but I could put it on the other walker because I know that walker will help her out a lot just with balance because she'll be able to sit and she won't be too dependent on air and arm.
Yeah, so you can probably do that. I'm being honest with you. You can probably do that depending on if the wheels are interchangeable on the two different walkers. If the wheels are interchangeable, you can switch it from one walker to the next. You should be able to do it.
Yeah,
You should really be able
I'm
to do it.
definitely thinking about doing that because I'm I'm kind of sick and tired of insurance just due to my personal situation that I just went through. And
Mm.
then not only that, this whole thing with them looking at us disabled as, oh, we just gonna cut our stuff off and this, that, and the third. So yeah.
I'm getting it. Like, once again, listen, when they cut that stuff off, that money goes back into the pot. That's where it goes. Right
Yeah, it
back into the
does.
pot. It goes back into the pot for the next person. Even with
Or of course it goes into the smart cities. Hee hee
oh
hee.
yeah, yeah, that's true. Even here in the city of Philadelphia, we just got our transportation system upgraded not too long ago. Excuse me, and they get it upgraded again. I'd rather go back to when I had to use $1 in a token and a paper transfer. Um,
Yes, oh my God, yes, I would love that. We just got done dealing with that, what, 2 years ago, I want to say? Yes,
mhm.
I miss the paper transfer and the little token. I miss it. I
Mhm.
miss it.
I did
Because now you got to
like
scan the barcode and all this other extra
I
stuff.
remember
It be getting on my nerves.
I remember getting on something when you had a token and you only had to pay 5 cents for a transfer. And
Please,
that to
man.
and that token and 5 cent got you pretty far. And then if you didn't have a token, you only needed $1 to get on to get on the transportation. But people don't realize Philadelphia, Pennsylvania is the highest transport has the highest transportation rate.
Really?
Yes,
I did not know that.
yes. We are literally paying almost $10 to ride Scepter.
No, oh, you just made me think of something. Okay, I don't know if I had this conversation with you before or not, but okay, you were talking about transportation and the buses or whatever, right?
Hmm.
So, being this disabled person, I signed up for this little program that, of course, the bus service got called Project. It's actually
Hmm.
called Project Mobility, but I call it Project for short. So of course you get an ID to take information, what to use, what can you do, what can't you do, and of course the bus where you can schedule rides to get to here or there or whatever. So it's this little Pacific ID that I got. This is of course registered with Project Mobility, and the expiration date, the eligible date when I started, and of course my name in the picture of me.
Mm.
Every time I get on a regular bus and I show the ID, I can ride free all day. All day long, wherever I go, I can ride free. I love that. But I'm in my head about it because I'm a
Hmm.
hate when they take that away, and I ain't gonna barely use it no more.
That sounds like being able to, but you know what that sounds like here, here in the city of Philadelphia, when we have to, when they people call for rides over the phone, they schedule their ride. It's called CCT, Community Customized Transit.
Yeah,
Um, Sounds similar to the same thing, but the difference is when you show your ID on a regular bus, you can't ride on a regular bus for free. You still got to pay. Um,
oh well, here you don't gotta pay. You just get on
right.
free ride.
Hmm. So now what a lot of people that has been doing is it's called fare evaders. A lot of people has been jumping fare, and you can't catch everybody.
Okay, now
Um,
what is that?
Jumping fare,
Yeah.
where you just get on the train and you don't pay.
Oh, okay. Well, just not
Yeah, a lot,
paying.
a lot of people do that, but once again, this is how I feel when it comes to us just being disabled um, and that's with the government. If it wasn't for us, a lot of these cities would not have accessible transportation. If we didn't go out there and fight for what we needed as disabled people, once again, the city would not have spent the money on us as disabled people to give us that. If there were never a wall put in place. Once again, I feel as though that a we are just a bag of money. A wall
Yeah, we
we
gonna
are just
fight
a
and fight and fight until we can't fight no more.
hmm we are just
Literally.
a bag of money, whether we rolling in a wheelchair, walking on a walker, walking on crutches, rolling in the scooter. We are just a huge bag of money. And the funny part about that is when you are just a bag of money, I wonder sometimes if I walk around, I wonder how much am I really worth to the government, literally.
For real though.
And I'm not even trying to be funny or smart. I'm wondering how much am I really worth to the government because it sounds like I'm worth a lot of money. So if I'm worth a lot of money, um, y'all gonna want to keep me.
I get that.
It's just like I just found out today. Once again, it goes again being disabled and in the government. I did not know. That's what I just found out. When you have Social Security, especially it says DI, you literally have to pay taxes on. You literally have to file taxes on that money. Never knew.
Nah, I didn't know that either.
Hmm. The money that the government give you, you gotta file taxes.
I had no like, but I thought you couldn't. I thought they told you couldn't do that.
You can do that when you're on SSI
Mm,
because SSI stands for Supplemental Social Security Income,
yeah.
meaning it's a supplemental amount of money that is given to you that
Yeah, versus
every
this
month
building.
versus
Yeah,
you actually holding down a job and working, and then you work and you get hurt on the job or you can't work no more. That's when they put you over the SSDI.
yeah,
Um, so to me, we are really worth a bunch of monies to people.
yeah. And I'm just gonna ask you, do you think that's scary sometimes?
Yes,
Like,
very
what
scary.
if? What if those people in Mexico I was talking about, like, what if, like, we gotta see their perspective for real, for real?
I would
Like,
rather see. I would rather see a perspective from a Mexican versus, and I'm not trying to be whatever everybody call it. And I see the perspective from people who are Mexican and Dominican when they come over to the U.S. and they work.
mhm,
I see why they do it because technically they're not just a number. They really, really are a human person because they got to work for their money.
yeah,
Um, versus us, oh, we ain't got to give them anything, and we ain't got to do this because they ain't gonna never work, so they can just go and sit there and collect the check all their life. Some of us don't sit and collect the check all our life.
exactly.
Um, that really just it just amazes me a lot
It's, the power and the control is just wild. I feel like on so many levels, it really is.
because they give the power and the control to the wrong people.
It really is. And then I even went back to looking like, damn, being rejected or being like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
dismembered, or like you just this disgusting piece of whatever. Like,
Mm-hmm.
man, I went back and I looked at a lot, and I'm like, man, we been on a curvy, long ass road from left to right to left to right, back to left.
Forget a curvy, bumpy ass road. We on a roller coaster ride sometimes that I feel like we ain't gonna never get off.
Literally, say that. Yes.
Like you signed, like you on this roller coaster. It's going to take you. It's going to take. And they say that there was some of these roller coasters say, "Oh yeah, you going to enjoy the ride. Yeah, enjoy this real life roller coaster ride that you on."
Literally, and then you waiting to get off, and it ain't no off.
Ain't no, you ain't shit. No, it's a off. It's a way to get off. The way to get off is you won't be breathing anymore.
I mean, yeah, but it's just gonna be this ride. It ain't
Oh
no
yeah, it's gonna be.
other.
That is truly for
Man.
sure. That exactly what it is. What it's gonna be. It's gonna be this ride.
And I don't know why. When you was talking about the idea you had tonight earlier, it kind of put me in this perspective of me wanting to spill just my true feelings about this whole business thing. Because, of
Mm,
course, you said government. And I'm like, well, I can kind of put my input in if I thought about it,
hmm
because it goes along with money and how they see us, and of course how we see ourselves and what we want versus what we expect. And I ain't gonna lie, I'm gone with the wind. Like,
I've been going.
I've literally got to a place where it's like, back in the day when your teacher said shut up and sit
hmm
down, stop
hmm
talking. I'm in
hmm
that seat and I don't know what the fuck to do. I'm just quiet.
Right. But sometimes
Like,
that's all.
damn.
Sometimes that's all you can be is quiet in this day and age and being disabled when it comes to the government. So you can't really say too much. Um, they're just like I'm wearing up to do this protest because they're coming after Medicaid and Medicare. The government is. This is what this is real life that the government is really coming after Medicaid and Medicare. Um, if the government turns off our Medicaid and Medicare, we will not have anything.
Yeah, that's true.
So we gonna be we won't even be able to afford to go to the doctors when we need to.
That's true. And I got some thoughts about that. I don't want to feel like I'm being judged when I say this, but one day, I ain't gonna lie, one day I think I asked the dumbest question, but I tried to say it in a smart way. And
Mm,
my older sister was like, Tia, just look it up, Kona. And I laughed because I was like, you know what? I could have just did the simplest thing and just looked it up. But instead, I went to my big sister because I know she'd know. But
mm,
now it's like every time I see a problem or trying to figure out another resolution, I get to like the nit of that problem. Like how can
mm,
it be fixed or where do it start from or where what
mm.
other you feel me scapegoats can it lead to?
Right.
And that kind of put me in a state of mind like, honey, I'm looking at my tablet right now, and I want to turn on my thing, but I look rough. Y'all want to see me,
No, it's okay. It's okay.
but y'all hear me out. If all this come to part, just like them those physicians and
Mm-hmm.
all the people that went to school to get all these degrees and this and that,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
honey, we need to be looking up
We
all we can while we can, cause it might just
what's
come to the point where we ain't got it no more.
no, what's going to probably happen?
I'm
I'm gonna
just
tell you,
saying.
but what's going to probably happen, and this is really, really true. What is probably really going to happen is we're going to end up having to go back to the old days, the old school remedies, the Black Wall Street, the we're going to have to go back to all of that, minus the slavery and racism.
And I was gonna ask you that earlier, when you just mentioned Black Wall Street. I was thinking, do you actually feel like we all, like as people, disabled, black, however you want to put it, do you feel like we all could actually come together to coexist for what we need, to stand by each other, to support each other when our lives are literally at face
At
front?
stake. Yeah, face front. I believe we can, but it would take one. It would take a lot of convincing to do.
Yeah,
Um, the convincing is going to be hard.
yeah, it definitely is.
Um,
It definitely is good shit. Just on this whole little YouTube journey, I've seen a lot of comments and a lot of people don't be on the best route. I'm gonna just say that.
hmm. No, I mean, look at. Speaking of the best route, look at who we got in office. Well, not who we, because I didn't vote for him to go in office, but look at who's in office. They crying about checks and balances. Checks and balances is really getting ready to get messed up because it's getting ready to mess with the Constitution.
Yeah, and no, I heard about that. Cause hold on, I think it was something about getting rid of Black History Month,
Yeah, yep, yep, yep,
getting
yep.
rid of civil rights.
Hmm.
Man, I heard the whole 10 yards.
Yeah, so we living in right now when it comes to the government and disability, and we living in a moment where we the only thing that we have left to do and that we feel like we can do is fight. Um,
Okay, and I'm happy you just said that. I swear, I be feeling like sometimes our brains connect so well together because you just said just fight, and I just before you said fight, I just had it on my mind to where I was gonna ask you. You know how today, how we see on TV, it's always a shooting, or it's always a fight, or it's always some drama.
mhm.
Can we literally see the day where we just cut all that out and just be civil
Ooh.
for each other.
Mm. Ah.
Because
Can we live for the day where there is no violence in the U.S. of A.?
I mean, all right, you just did say sometimes we just some money sign of people
I believe we can, but that's going to take once again. That's going to take
fight.
one hell of a fight. It's
Who
going to
this?
take. It's going to take one hell of a fight.
That's scary.
Um, that's very scary. But to everyone out there that has watched this, that's going to watch this podcast when it's
And you hold on before you end it off. I just want to dip this in the mud real quick.
mm,
I've I've had conversations from people to Arizona, to Philadelphia, to Florida, to California, to down there, everywhere. So when I say we can, we definitely can. It's just do we really want it?
do we really want it, and do we have the willpower and the willingness to do it?
Yep.
That's the question. That's the question of the day. Well, the evening time saying because it's evening time now. But my final thought and my final comment before we end this tonight. My final thought is this: I feel that being disabled in the government, that we are owned by the government. Um, can we get up from up under it? Yes. The way that how we do that, we got to go all the way back. We got to start from scratch. Um, but I'm gonna ask everybody, I'm gonna ask everybody out there that's going to see this: how do you feel when it comes to being having a disability, being disabled, and having the government on your back at the same time? That is my final question for y'all tonight. I'm going to ask my co-host, does she have any final thoughts or anything that she would like to say to the people?
Uh, um, as far as this specific video, I want to just say, buckle up, you guys. I know we on wheels, but right now we damn near need that seatbelt. Cause man,
Yes, yes.
it's about to be quite a ride. I'm just saying that.
Yeah, and it ain't gonna be no amusement park ride at all.
Nah,
We got 3 years of this ride before we can get
yeah,
off.
yeah, definitely.
So I say, stay informed, stay informed, stay informed. Um, ladies and gentlemen, people all over the world. Until next time, come join us.
We out. If it ain't me, him, it's a we thing. Love y'all.
Yes.